see me on the vibe, yeah, I know you know. Try to catch me slipping, but you know I won't. I got covering, watching every move. Never see me give up, now I'm in a no growth. Yeah, 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 in a no growth. Yeah, 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 in a no growth.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is your favorite girl next door, and welcome to Seize the Day. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did, just being able to see a lot of faces, a lot of people that I have not seen in a long time. Of course, spending time with my family is always a plus. We have Christmas right around the corner, so the perfect time to go ahead and have our season finale. Yay! You guys, this is the season finale of Seize the Day. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I cannot believe that I just finished. This is my season finale of my first season of my own talk show. I am so happy. Very sad, very bittersweet, because I have been having so much fun doing these videos. But what that means is I get to gear up for season 2. Woo! I'm so happy. Just as the more that I've been doing these, the more creative I've become, the more ideas that I have, just more witty inventions that I've just been coming up with. So I'm super, super excited that I get a chance to do that, share this platform with so many people. I will be having clips of everybody who I've interviewed this season on Seize the Day. I will be having clips near the end of the show, so you guys can kind of reminisce with me. Like I said, it's bittersweet, but it's also a blessing, because that means I get to gear up for my second season. You know, you kind of learn a lot of things along the way, especially when you're doing something like this. You know, you learn what to do, what not to do, how to do it better, how to perform it better. So we're gonna go ahead and start dissecting the topic for today. Drum roll, please. It's not really a topic, it's just a phrase. And the phrase is, why compete when we all can eat? So yes, we are talking about competition, competing, and why we don't need to compete, because there is plenty of room at the table. When it comes to building your brand and having success, you don't have to compete for what you do, because at the end of the day, whatever that idea that is in your head, that's your idea. You don't have to think, oh man, someone's gonna steal my idea. Guess what? Because it was given to you, if they quote unquote steal it, then guess what? It's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be what you come up with. And it's not, to be honest with you, if it wasn't given to them and they take your idea and try to do something with it, it's still not gonna be what it needs to be, because it was given to you. So there's no need to compete. You know, the worst thing I think is us as creatives, we focus on things that really does not have any, meaning. Like me with my talk show. I know plenty of people who have platforms, they have built platforms, and to be quite honest with you, their platforms are bigger than mine. But guess what? There's no Seize the Day. I, got the idea and the vision for Seize the Day. So even if someone else tried to create a Seize the Day, they can't do it like how I'm doing it. And I'm not trying to say it to sound cocky. I just know the vision that God has given me for this platform. Now if they want to go and create something totally different, or create a talk show that God has given them, then, that'll be their vision. But for me, I'm not concerned, because this is the vision that was given for my brand. So I'm going to just leave you guys with this. Just keep going. Keep pushing. Continue to keep pushing. Don't worry about what someone is doing on your left or on your right. Look forward and stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. So, as we do some reminiscing, starting from the beginning of Seize the Day until now. First up was my 30-day challenge that I gave myself. Whenever I came up with Seize the Day, I was like, what is a good way I can market this? What is a good way that I can get people geared up to see, you know, what I have going on, because I just didn't want to throw the first episode on you guys and you guys are looking like, okay, what is this? I wanted something, you know, just gearing up to it, something that I know that you guys will be excited to, you know, see, kind of get your attention. So I was like, well, I am turning 30 and there's 30 days in April and my birthday's in April, so why not do 30 days a day? And that's where the 30 days a day came from. So I started recording a video every single day. I did a photo shoot with my really good friend Josh, and I was just like, you know what, boom, we're gonna go ahead and release this. I started creating different snippets of a compilation of different pictures that I had took for my birthday photos. And I started putting motivational quotes behind them. I started posting them every day. And I kept letting everybody know, look, I'm doing this for 30 days, and on the 25th, which is my birthday, I'm going to be giving you guys a surprise. There are people that was DMing me, there are people that was messaging me on Facebook. You guys were like, hey, what was going on? There were people that were asking me, was I pregnant? Was I getting married? To just tell them what it is, and they won't tell anybody. Like it really did what I wanted it to do, and that was to create an active engagement. You guys were engaged, you guys was trying to figure out what was going on, and I loved every minute of it. So then after that, I was like, well, who's gonna be my first guest? And I met this young lady years and years ago, and I just seen how well she was doing. You know, I was so excited for her. She was one of my really good friends, Vanessa, her little sister, and she acts and she travels all over, you know, the United States acting, and I was just so proud of her, and I'm like, I have to get her on the show. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, you know, do you feel like interviewing? And she was just like, sure. So she was my first guest on the show, and I was so honored, and I was so blessed just to have her on the show. So you guys take a look back at episode 1, season 1 of Seize the Day with the beautiful Tiara Hines.
So you have people like a Robin Williams who has been the funny guy forever, but nobody is really checking in on him to see how he is on the inside. You know, like how is all of this? How has he been adjusting to all of this fame that's been happening?
Especially just in the Black community, like, because that's the community I'm a part of. You know, so I can speak about that very passionately. In our community alone, I realize that when it comes to mental illness, we don't like to label ourselves because we have to be the strong man. When I tell you, that was definitely one of my favorite episodes, because she's so wise beyond her years. Just sitting there, just talking to her, like, I honestly for a brief second had forgot that we were recording. We just like we're in our own little world, and I just really love that, and that is definitely a really big part of, you know, Seize the Day. You know, just taking advantage of that moment. That was just really awesome. So next up on the list, we have my big brother, who is also my pastor, and I love him to pieces. Like, this man is so wise. Like, oh my goodness, just sitting there talking to him sometimes is just like mind-blowing. He's definitely amazing. When you guys have the chance, please check him out. I will put his handle right here. Go check him out on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. But we got a chance to sit down, check out this flashback from episode 2 with my big brother and my pastor, Pastor Sherman Blandon. Involved in this vision, so it's like you don't know where.
Couple things to it. You first of all, you gotta be a good salesman. Secondly, you have to have some type of track record. You know, people just say success. There's nothing about you that says completion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there are things you've accomplished, whether it was in school, whether it up today. Just because you heard about me today don't mean I just woke up today. There's a process behind
your growth, because man, you see what I'm talking about? Wise, just wise beyond his years. I just love it. Just talking to him is amazing. Next up was a very different type of feel. It was in a different atmosphere. Like I said, I wanted to interview creatives from all over, and I got a chance to meet the creator of a huge poetry show that gets thrown every year. and it's called Inkspired. And now how I met this young man is actually really, it was a coincidence, but it was a coincidence for the better. I actually needed an Uber to the airport. I was headed to Houston, Texas, and I needed an Uber. I needed to catch an Uber to the airport. So that's when my Uber driver, Mr. SP, as his stage name is, we were talking, and he told me that he does this show every year, and he was doing an Inkspired Queen edition that was coming up. And I was like, oh, I have my own talk show. I would love to have you on to interview you. So we kept missing each other. He ended up giving me a number to the wonderful woman that helps him in everything that he does, Miss Crystal the Muse. She's amazing. We ended up connecting. We started talking, and before I knew it, I was interviewing their whole cast. They didn't have a place where I could hang up my backdrop, but I had my camera, I had my light, I had everything. But I was like, we are still recording. I don't care what we're gonna have to do, we're recording. And we did it outside. We had the whole cast sitting together outside. We had crowds of people behind the camera. So you probably can hear while we were recording, people talking in the background. But listen, we made it work, and we definitely created a wonderful, wonderful moment. So you guys check out this clip from the special edition of Seize the Day with me interviewing SP, Crystal the Muse, and the entire cast of Inkspired Queens Edition.
For us to even get to the group, period, about each other, as if Chris,
I think it's a healthy thing, but I don't think that we judge.
But I'm shedding, and then at this point, what I would consider regular schmidt.
The things that we have been through and dive into.
Okay.
Oh, what's up with that?
I hope you guys love that one, because I surely did. I surely did. It was definitely a pleasure meeting all those wonderful talents. So this next one is extremely, extremely, extremely near and dear to my heart. This was me interviewing a group of young men who are from North Carolina, just like me. How I came across them was crazy. Oh my goodness. I ended up seeing their video on YouTube. I was actually listening to like a whole playlist, and it was a commercial that came up, like advertising for them. And I was like, well, let me see who this is, because the song, it was Chocolate off of their Midnight Sun album. And I was like, okay, this is so good. And as I kept like digging through all of their songs, I'm like, oh my goodness, these dudes are from Durham. I said, I have to have them on the show. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know how I was going to make this thing happen. But let me tell you, where there's a will and there's a way. And when you have a drive like me, when I tell you my drive is impeccable, I was going to find them, and I did. I reached out to them. It took them a while to respond back. Shade, no shade. No, they know I love them. But I reached out to them. I told them that I wanted to meet with them. And one of the members got back with me. We exchanged numbers. The rest was history. I actually met them down at the venue while they were doing their sound check, because they were actually going to perform later on that night. We met in the green room. The green room was like this big. It's like this big. But when I tell you, we made it work, and we created a super bomb interview. Like that interview, when I tell you, that has to be my favorite interview for season 1 of Seize the Day. Like, I'm sorry, I love all my guests, I promise you, I really, really do. But just how that one happened was so God ordained. Like, that is my favorite one. And we sat down, and when I tell you, the conversation was so organic, was so pure, we laughed, we just really enjoyed that moment. Just seeing them, and then later on going to their concert and actually being in that element with them, man, those dudes are so dope, and they're so humble. Like, we're definitely gonna gear up some stuff, because I definitely have to interview them again, because they have done so much since that interview. Like, they are amazing. They are amazing. So this is episode 4 from season 1 of Seize the Day. Me interviewing Young Bull Music. You guys please take a look at this.
It's like even making an album. So like he got this music, like let's just put an album together. As to where Midnight Sun in space, like we was traveling, going to Boston, like to work on a record, and like what does this mean to you? What is it that I make, or like I make with Gabe? Yeah,
we just went over there.
I appreciate it, but nah, yeah.
We'll all tell you, but like we never feel like we've actually. Right. We've had victories for sure. It was like getting a solid band that plays with us.
I've been up all night playing, you can't hear the no reply, nobody won't see, looking out for my she said, hey, with that confidence, let's make moves in you.
Man, when I tell you, I absolutely love that interview. Like, I can watch that interview every day. Just every day, because it was just so organic. I loved it. Definitely was not forced whatsoever. 5, you guys. This episode was very different. It was just me. I didn't interview anybody, but I was definitely in a really rough spot. I was in a rough spot, but I told myself that in front of this camera is where I get a lot of my push from, because this is what I love doing. I love encouraging other people. Even when I'm down, no matter how I feel, like I need to do what I need to do. I need to do what I love to do. So that's what I did. I got in front of the camera and I came out and I produced. So you guys check out episode 5 from season 1 of Seize the Day. Settle here. You know that there's a greater ahead, and you know that you have to do whatever you need. That's contentment. It's a difference. You never want to get to a place where you're complacent. To be honest, comfortable and laziness go. You never want to get lazy to where push. All right, everybody. We are definitely dwindling down to the last episode, which is where we're at now. So this next episode was also with me by myself. I did not have a guest on, but it was definitely something that needed to be talked about. And it was excuses. Excuses. Let me tell you, that is like the end all be all. When I tell you, when you have excuses in the mix, you can hardly do nothing, like, because you're always making excuses to do them. So I definitely had to, and I was speaking from a very real spot in my heart, because I struggle with excuses sometimes. So I definitely had to get in front of this camera and tell you guys about excuses. So you guys check out episode 6 from the first season of Seize the Day. Now I need to get my proper rest so I can and live off of and be able to bring other people on the hub, and I just want to lay on the couch until I fall asleep. I have to be able to push past that. Things that you tell yourself late at night, things that you say, do I start walking into your calling? There is nothing that were put in front of you for you to achieve you would never achieve. So I'm going to challenge you. I want you to get out. And now we have the last episode of season 1 of Seize the Day. You guys know what I say all the time, and it's not gonna change. This is the slogan of Seize the Day. Tomorrow is not promised, so make sure you get out and seize the day. Thank you guys so much for making this first season a success. Thank you so much for making this first season an enjoyable moment. I have loved every one of you. I thank you guys so much for the love, for the support, for the push, because you guys definitely pushed me, because if it's taking me a little bit too long to get out another video, you guys definitely will email me, or you guys will DM me, or whatever. You guys will definitely hit me up and be like, ma'am, I need for another video to come out. We need some Seize the Day. So thank you guys so much for that push. It's definitely needed. Don't stop. I need it. So thank you so much. And until next time, I will say it one more time so you will never forget. Tomorrow is not promised. So make sure you get out and seize the day. Thank you guys. Love you. Thank you so much for everyone who's made this season possible. I greatly appreciate you forever.
Yeah, in a no growth. Yeah, in a no growth. Yeah, I'm in a no growth.